All right, guys. So, you know, again, there's probably going to be maybe like this whole channel may turn into just a channel that is devoted to the Epstein situation now, because now it's getting to the point where it's like new things are always coming out daily, and it's just getting very, very bad, and it's getting even very, very more cringe. The bad thing about it is that, again, I said in the previous video, I said this in the previous video that um uh that the Muslim the Muslim I want to say that the Muslim audience who is quiet about this, right? The Muslim audience who's actually quiet about this whole situation is very, 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 you know, at, I won't say at fault, but they're part of the problem as well, because you have a guy, I mean, I'm not going to even give his name, but you have a guy who actually said this. He said this. He said, okay, and these were his words verbatim. These are not my words. He said that if you fear Allah, you would not talk about Epstein files. He also said that if you basically i- if you basically are talking about it, then you're just a sheep, you know. And he said that because his big wigs, being guys from UAE, guys from Qatar, guys from Bahrain, and guys from Saudi Arabia, were pictured with Jeffrey Epstein. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, um, it's sad that he has so much baya, right? He has so much baya, or so much allegiance to the evil that 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 he basically, because he's based in UAE. He has so much he has so much of it, basically, that he decided that nobody should speak against it. These are his words. Um, the problem with that is, right? This is the problem with that. The problem with that is that you're in essence telling us not to speak about something that really kind of affected the Muslim community in general, because of the simple fact that there was a push, you know, there was a push to basically um, liberalize Islam inside the Epstein files. So you're in essence saying that we're not supposed to speak up against that. Okay, that's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. Those were his words. Those were his words. Now, the thing is too, right? Another thing about this whole situation, right, is that it gets more sinister, because we know about the anti-blackness in the Epstein files. We know about the anti-blackness. He was very anti-black. He made it known that, as a matter of fact, I think when he was in prison, he said a black dude tried to kiss him, and he basically, you know, he basically, of course, pushed him away and didn't want any parts of that. But this is a lesser evil than what he was doing, according to a lot of people. You know, again, you don't hear the MAGA people talking about this. They're awfully quiet about this thing, because some of their guys, a lot of the guys that own sports teams, a lot of the guys who who you know are very right wing, very all of these kind of things. A lot of them are on that list, right? So of course, the MAGA people are going to be quiet about it. Now, what I want to talk about is, and I'm not saying this for my benefit, okay? And I'm not saying it in essence for the benefit of, people. Well, maybe it is for the benefit of people, but thank God, like most of the people from my tribe, alhamdulillah, they've been kind of like they've been, the good news is about them is like, they've been kind of, they've been kind of like, I want to say, uh, steady and kind of avoiding these people. Some stray off, but some actually stay on the steady. But there's also something coming out that this guy was a straight up eugenics maniac. He wanted to collect data from Nigerian women because he believed, in their words, in his words, that they had superior, superior, you know, producing abilities, superior producing abilities of children. Now, what's interesting about this whole situation, right, is that as racist as he was, or as he is, many people think he's still alive, by the way, but as racist as he is, right, he still wanted to use African women as guinea pigs. He still wanted to research upon them. He still wanted to kind of use them for experiments, okay? He wanted to do these things. There was nothing, unfortunately, to stop him from doing these and making this happen. And the sad thing is, and I'm speaking about Nigeria especially, it's because I'm really wanting Nigeria to get on board with the Sahel states. Nigeria, whether you like it or not, you are in the Sahel region of Africa. Now, the issue is, do you know that in Nigeria that there are more births of babies than Russia and all of Europe combined? In Nigeria alone. So imagine the rest of the Sahel, how many births there are. Imagine the rest, okay? So, with this being said, right? With this being said, do you know that he wanted to do extensive research and things of that nature on this and use these women? But not only that though, bro, but now you have America doing these new health bills or something like this, doing these new health things in unfortunately, Nigeria is gullible enough to sign upon these agreements. And honestly, I don't know why. They should have said, no, we're not doing it. They should have said it, but they didn't. Of course they didn't. So I say this to say this, and this is going to be a kind of short video. Okay? When it comes to, right? When it comes to, I want to say, the Wyatt, right? He may hate your guts, okay? He may hate everything about you, but unfortunately, he's going to still try to find use for you. And unfortunately, you may think you may think that, right, that it's good that he'll find use for you, and that he's actually wanting to be your friend, but it's actually quite opposite. Okay, he's finding use for you so he can actually use what you have against you. Okay, and I hate to say it, but he knows that maybe one of the easiest ways um, to you know, be be to target you will be the woman, right? As he has succeeded to do in the West for the most part. So as this rabbit hole gets deeper, I think there was one Nigerian on the Epstein files, yes, and then there maybe was, uh, you know, I don't know for sure, but I know they talked about a security agreement with Ivory Coast. I know that for sure. So, now we have to wait. Now we have to see what else comes out. But let's just look at it from these lenses. We have to look at it from two lenses. The first lens we have to look at it from is number one, they will not let you build in peace. Number two, um, although they will say that the aesthetic, yes, they'll say the aesthetic, the fake hair, the fake lashes, the BBLs, they'll say that they don't desire these things in black women. But what they do desire are the other things in a sick, sadistic kind of way. Okay? And it's about time we get hip. Okay? And it's about time, in my opinion, which is why I'm going to Nigeria, inshallah, during Ramadan. Because there's actually a Christian missionary that I want to confront myself, you know? I want to confront him myself, and I plan to do so. Because I'm tired of these NGOs doing these kind of things. These NGOs don't mean good. My question is this. Yeah, I'm gonna end with this question. I'm gonna end with this question. When have Wyatts ever done anything good for Africa? When have Wyatts ever did anything good for Asia? And when I say Wyatts, I also mean the ones who have the Star of David on their flag. That's white and blue. Yeah, some of them, some of these guys will separate themselves from Wyatts, but they are Wyatts. Their ancestry is from Wyatt countries. Okay. But when have they ever did anything good for people who are non-Wyatt? When? Please tell me when. You can't use the argument that they gave us reading and writing because we were reading and writing before they were even. You can't use the argument that they gave us civilization because we had civilization before or during their civilization. If someone wants to talk about governance, like self-governance, I can name at least 5 self-governing things that were around before even European contact. Futa Toro, Futa Jalon, Masina, Sokoto, Adamawa, And also, let's just throw in Mali and Ghana Empire into the mix, and let's also throw in Songhai. These were independent governing things, independent of European incursions. Okay, so it's not like we needed them. But I just want to throw that out there that we're dealing with two people. We're not only dealing with we're not only dealing with the Wyatt, but we're dealing with those who think they're adjacent to the Wyatt, being that individual who said that if you fear Allah, you'll be quiet about Epstein. And with that being said, Fula signing out. Leave your thoughts, leave your comments on Jarama.